So after seeing breaking for the very first time in about 2012, that was something that I couldn't get my mind off. After seeing those videos on YouTube for the first time of, I don't know, Gamblers Crew or America's Best Dance Crew, I couldn't stop thinking about dance. It was something that was always on my mind. I never really tried it, but I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I couldn't stop thinking about the images that I saw. And after letting curiosity take the lead, I stumbled upon a few resources. So that's the next step after finding out what makes you tick, is letting curiosity take the lead, and eventually you'll find yourself stumbling upon a few resources. For me, this was some tutorials on YouTube, but more importantly, this was also in the form of a Facebook page, namely Perth Street Dance Community. So after being on the down low and sort of being hidden in the shadows while I lurked on those various Facebook pages and YouTube tutorials, I finally mustered enough courage to actually go outside and see if I was able to meet other people who did the same style of dance as me. So I was able to do this through the Facebook group as well, after seeing an event on there that was posted by one of the B-boys from Perth. So I guess that brings me to my next step, is finding a community or a small group of people who do the same thing as you. Now this can be pretty difficult, and this might take actually quite a long while, as it did for me. For me, this was actually something that I found really challenging. This took a lot of time for me to actually find this small community of breakers in my city. So from the time that I actually first saw breaking in about 2012, I didn't actually meet a group of b-boys or breakers until 2015. So about 3 years I was sort of wasting time, and I was sort of lurking the internet, when in fact I should have just been out there and sort of using my resources to meet other people. When I found this community, that was when I was able to progress, and that was when I was really able to form a relationship with my craft. I've always felt that community is important because it helps to actually materialize the craft that you perhaps are developing a passion for. If your ideas and your perceptions towards the craft are actually embodied in people, then it makes everything feel a bit more real and makes everything feel a bit more tangible. After stumbling upon this community, the next thing that I did was I tried to learn and understand more about my craft. Now this isn't something that you do immediately when you meet people. This is actually something that you can do throughout the whole journey, and probably something that you should do throughout the whole journey. In fact, today I still want to learn, and I still want to understand more about the creative things that I do. The reason being so that I can actually understand and develop my personal approach and style towards breaking or whatever other creative things I do. So another thing that also helped me was learning how to present my work. In the case of breaking, this is learning how to sort of battle, I guess, and compete in jams or breaking competitions. So I actually feel like presenting your work and showing it to the world is another way of sort of developing your understanding and your passion for your craft. I feel like when I presented my work or my breaking to the world through the form of Instagram or Facebook videos, I found that I actually had to sort of get it together and figure out, okay, how am I going to approach my dance so that I can actually present it to others? Once again, understanding how to make your things feel more complete is another step in understanding the creative journey. Sort of another thing that made me really want to stick to breaking and stick to its community is actually getting out there and getting involved in breaking's global community. What I mean by this is by traveling and meeting other street dancers or breakers around the world. Doing this makes your craft feel like something bigger than yourself, something that sort of pushes boundaries and breaks borders. Being involved in a global community makes you feel like you're contributing to something a lot larger than yourself, and it makes you feel like you're really contributing something to the world. In addition to this, I also found that meeting other street dancers worldwide and sort of understanding their approach really helped me as well. It really just opens up the mind, and I also ended up meeting a ton of really cool people. Just really cool to see how they do it, see how they approach things, and just feel really inspired about how engaged they are in their communities. Another thing that I found that actually helped me develop a passion for breaking was learning how to teach it and learning how to actually share it with other people who didn't have an understanding about breaking before. learning how to articulate breaking, learning how to communicate movements and moves also helped understand breaking. It also sort of just broke everything down and made me realize that I should really be focusing on the true core of breaking and its movement. So obviously passion doesn't develop overnight. It's something that you have to understand and something that you soon realize through a variety of things. One of the biggest things is failure. So for me, breaking sort of wasn't the only option. I guess I tried my hand at many other things, I guess. I tried playing sport, I tried skateboarding, and some other stuff that I probably didn't really enjoy. So in trying to develop a passion for things and trying to understand something, you might learn that it's not for you. That's great as well, because in the future, you actually realize and narrow down your options. Learning what you don't like is probably just as good as learning what you do like. Another thing as well is that a lot of this takes time to manifest. And I guess the big elephant in the room as well is just figuring out how the hell to practice. Practice is obviously an underlying foundation of improving at anything. So doing this throughout the whole journey will help to accelerate your understanding of the craft that you do. In addition to this, a feeling of belonging in the world or a local community is also really important as well in just staying healthy and just staying engaged with life. Like I said, these are just some of the things that I've learned along my journey which have helped me to stick to what I love doing, breaking. Feel free to switch up whatever you like, feel free to be curious as well, and feel free to fail so that you learn and learn and learn and grow until you finally achieve what you want to be.